Regal Movie Masters. Unlimited.
This is the Regal Movie Masters Unlimited podcast where we indiscriminately watch every goddamn movie that comes out at the local theaters. Your movie masters today are Justine.
Hello.
Brent.
I'm choosing violence.
Dylan.
Hello, my name is Dylan Kane.
And I'm Colin. Today we got two movies for you, Beautiful Blue Eyes and Medieval. We'll kick off with Beautiful Blue Eyes. Roy Scheider of Jaws fame's final performance, in which he portrays a Jewish survivor of Nazi occupation who returns to his hometown, elderly man, some 40 years later.
After being a New York City detective.
Only to find that his son is flatmates with a Nazi that he remembers from the old days. And needless to say, hijinks ensue. This movie can't be discussed without talking first and foremost about like the backstory. You're listening to this being recorded in 2022, where we had just walked out of the theatrical debut of this film. This film originally was made in 2009. It made some festival rounds, but it was never properly released. It has a lost media entry on the Lost Media Wiki, which I'm just a fan of in and of itself, right? Let me tell you, you want just a fucking bonkers, wild-ass ride, just look up the Beautiful Blue Eyes / the original two names of the film.
If you Google Beautiful Blue Eyes, what comes up is it says Iron Cross.
Right.
And then in the description, it says Justice / Vengeance is a movie that was made in. So it redirects you and you can't tell what this movie is called.
Yeah. Iron Cross and Justice / Vengeance. Those are the two names that it went by originally. Now it's been redone as Beautiful Blue Eyes. Why? Because of its inarguable quality? No. It is because it is the last film of Rob Scheider of Jaws fame, and they are reintroducing Jaws into the theaters. Oh, Jaws is in the movie theaters? Well, we got this movie that we made like 12 years ago that has the guy from that in it. Put that out too. People will make it a double header. There's more to this story. Again, you can read the wiki. Maybe we'll get into it later. But apparently like a half hour of the original film shaved off, and Roy Scheider, the legend, dies during the filming of this. So there are whole scenes where the director, Joshua Newton, like puts on a prosthetic mask and acts as if he is Roy Scheider. This is fucked. It's an insanely broken film. I can't say it's like, oh, it's a wild ride. You'll never get what's going on.
No.
Because I don't know any of this backstory going into it, right? Because it opens black and white. You're in Nazi Poland, and you're just like, all right, this is what we're getting into here. This is going to be like a Holocaust movie, right? And you're seeing people's families dragged off, all that sort of thing. It's kind of like really nice looking, the way that the black and white stuff was shot. Very romantic. I thought we were just going to watch like a romance story between young lovers with this horrific backdrop. Wasn't really sure what to get into.
Yeah, it started out like it felt like it was going to be a really competent art house movie. I was sitting next to Justine, and we kind of like looked over like, whoa, this is shot really well.
Yeah,
the lighting is nice.
Beautiful, actually. Yeah,
for sure.
I think the only criticism I had in that moment was, like the dialogue was kind of whatever. So I was like, this would have been a good silent movie with a score. But then
they flash forward to the year in the film, 1997.
Yeah.
Mind you, shot in 2009.
Right. To get us from the black and white, there's a transition that establishes that this is going to be totally fucked, because you get a bullet train kind of, or like a very fast moving train. So you're kind of like, okay, this is busting through the scene now. And then you get this weird, like, the only way I can describe it is like the movie Speed. It's like that typeface, but it's in like a gradient gold that just doesn't match what you just saw, which is like I said, like it looked like a very competent art house film. Yeah. She's like, what just happened?
Does it even like slide in?
It slides in. It moves.
And it is a very like MS Word font. Very 90s, all gradiented out. It's fucking weird. It throws you into like okay, we're watching like the quote unquote modern era or the 1997 stuff.
Because I didn't know any of this
Yeah.
story of
Yeah.
of it coming out so long ago. Watching it, I was like, is this just bad or is this intentional? Like, are they trying to make it look like a movie from the 90s? I would say it seems more 80s or something, like RoboCop.
It seemed pretty true to 1997 Europe, like my ideals of it at least, like the cars and the tech and stuff like that, which I don't think would have been that hard to create. A movie made in 2009 is going to be able to portray the late 90s a little better. That part all rang true. Not in the style of filming or anything, but just in the look of it, of 1997 Germany. Yeah. And so you are in 1997 Nuremberg. Our young protagonist, who we saw evading Nazi forces in Poland, he's now an adult and he's visiting his son. And he's just been hunting Nazis this whole time. He's like a New York City cop or something.
Yeah, he was a former. That's not explained in the movie. You have to read that. It might have been in like the extended, cut.
He's really hamming up the like New Yorkisms, which
That's
is
true.
weird that you're in Europe and it's all like, was sprechen Sie? And then he's just like, what are you talking about, buddy? It's definitely like a little jarring. As our protagonist is coming back home, he's got a trouble thing with his son. There's family drama there. But like everything he sees, it's like bringing him back to the old days, right? And I've, have heard their accounts from like Holocaust survivors where they're just like, yeah, I know it's fucked, but I cannot hear German accents anymore. Mm-hmm. Understandably so, right? And so, maybe they lean into it a little heavy or do it too often, but there is at least a nugget of truth in him just being basically just on high alert and kind of traumatized as he's walking through it.
But like, it happens a lot.
He wouldn't be functional to have that.
I was
For
just
sure.
thinking, I was like, so is this like the only time that this is happening? Because he was living in New York City for 50 years or whatever, and was a policeman. Like, he would never be able to do that, especially with like guns and stuff.
I'm rolling with it. Fine. But yeah, I think to your point, it was a little too frequently and it got a little like tedious, I guess. And there's a countdown going down. Despite how serious the subject matter and how serious they're taking it, it starts to feel a little silly for me. And whatever that number is, they definitely crossed it with his flashbacks
Quickly,
in black and white. You know what I'm saying? So basically, he recognizes a neighbor of his son's as a Nazi from back in the day, which is fucking very far-fetched, but I'm rolling with it. Fine. He recognized him. He goes, I know that motherfucker. That guy's a Nazi. His son, who they have issues with, he's like, come on, Dad. You're so like this. Just let the guy be. He's
like
nice guy.
Really angry at his dad for having
All the time.
PTSD about the
Constantly.
Holocaust.
And for like always wanting to kill these Nazis, you jerk.
Yeah, get over it.
It's insane. But it's like, whatever. You have to have a whatever attitude towards a lot of this movie, right? So they go snooping, father and son, into their neighbor's house, a la in the Burbs where they try to find out the Klopex. You know the expression like a smoking gun, as a phrase to illustrate like finding someone beyond a shadow of a doubt incriminated, right?
Go ahead and tell them what they found,
A
Colin.
smoking gun. They find a Nazi Luger. Like I was like joking about like the kind of evidence they found.
Right.
And it was like, signed copies of Mein Kampf, pictures of me and Hitler. But like there's literally a picture of the young Nazi guy as Hitler in like a quaint little like memory box.
Yes.
And like his passport, like all like the most insane amount of like, okay, this guy is for sure that Nazi guy. Make up a sketch comedy thing where like someone's like, you were a Nazi. No, I wasn't. And like, Mein Kampfs and shit are like, and fucking Iron Cross medallions and swastika armbands are like falling out of his pockets as he's saying it. It was basically that, right? While the father and son go snooping in the apartment.
It's not hidden at all.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was no loose floorboards involved.
Yeah.
I think like a tablecloth was draped over it. Just, okay, fine. Again, this is a whatever thing. So they know for sure this guy's a Nazi, right? So they're like, we're taking him.
Sorry, that's really fucking funny because that's really what happened.
I realize the only way to talk about how insane this movie is just to communicate the objective facts that occur.
Yeah.
So they take him on a trip, a father and son road trip, with a stolen moving van.
Yeah, they steal the box truck, and then it turns into a road trip movie.
They
complete with
timer counting
the
down?
distances to the destination on screen.
50 years later,
Yeah.
and then like
17 years earlier.
yeah, it goes back
Yes.
and forth,
Yeah.
and then it starts to say 300 kilometers from the
Yes.
destination. Like, so we're like going backwards, we're going forward, and now we're talking in terms of distance.
And the father and son, while on the trip, are talking about the past too.
Mind
So-
you, the entire time the father's an asshole, just screaming. He's
Yeah.
crotchety. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's like
I would-
it's uncomfortable. It's not fun.
And again, if anyone has earned the right to be
Yeah.
anything they want to be, it's a Holocaust survivor. So, but the son's kind of a dickhead
oh,
too.
so it's a huge dick.
So, okay, they're driving from Germany to Poland. So he's like taking him back there to kill him. This is all to say, it's a long drive, and they are forcing this fucking family dynamic between the father and son. They're chatting and everything, and that doesn't work at all, right? Like you don't give a shit about these people's scenarios. You kind of give a shit about the flashbacks where they show the younger guy like joining partisans. I'm down for that, man.
Because that goes back to the black and white style that we
Yes.
Yeah.
like.
Anyways,
The whole thing is that he thinks, hey, this is the guy. I know it for sure. And the son is like, how do you know for sure? And he explains that a Nazi killed his little sister, who had the, quote, beautiful blue eyes. And that's the guy that killed his little sister. So
Okay.
how could he forget,
right.
his face? Like, this is where he killed my little sister and, his family. And so he wants to take him back to the same place.
And while they're on this trip, meanwhile, the wife is at home and she starts talking to a different neighbor about the Nazi guy, right? The lady explains while they're digging the grave, while they're about to put the bullet in him, because they're getting 100% sure that it's the guy, right? They're convincing themselves more, they're getting their courage up. The neighbor lady explains that, yes, the neighbor has been living under an assumed name. The original guy with the last name, he narked out Nazis when he got arrested and the Americans freed him for information. So he's free, but he still lives with guilt, and he'd rather don't bring up that name around him because, and they reveal this basically right as the old man loses his nerve. The old man can't shoot the guy, right? So his son pulls the trigger, bang, and then the old lady reveals it's because the neighbor is the brother of that guy who was a Nazi.
Twist.
They killed the wrong guy. The moral takeaway under that scope, which is the futility of vengeance. Hence, I think one of the names of the film, Justice/Vengeance. You're going rogue here. You're going to get the wrong guy. It makes for good movies and everything. Forgiveness and true justice and all that.
On paper, that might have worked.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
what films are for. Is for
Yeah.
things on paper, right? But then.
We get more words on the screen.
Yeah.
Then they undo all of that. So the guy bangs him, the end, it's his brother, twist, and it's like, as they were investigating, it turns out that guy didn't even have a brother. So it was the Nazi, which thus makes the moral, you suspect someone of something, just kill him. Trust your gut and murder people.
They shoehorn that in because they want Roy Scheider's last bit of action on film to be noble.
Yeah, I guess, or just to make it less morally ambiguous or something. But I'm looking into other Roy Scheider films, and as much as we love Jaws, the movies that stuck out to me that I saw him in was Cronenberg's Naked Lunch, which obviously respect, and the 2004 version of The Punisher.
There you go.
So if those are the standouts, that's not a legendary performer necessarily. It is such a hacked up job, the whole movie, in terms of editing. Apparently they shaved 30 minutes off of the original runtime of the thing to make it under 90 minutes, which is respect for any film at this point, except it feels so much longer
did.
because
Yeah.
they padded out with bullshit, attempting to build characters. None of it connects.
Stylistically, it's all over the place.
Right.
It felt like I was watching a teenager holding their iPhone.
Yeah,
Filming.
the shaky cam footage.
Yeah, it was rough.
Dylan, I notice you in the corner there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to call this movie tonally confused?
No, I think it knows what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, the black and white part of the film, it's good. It looks good. I will
Yeah.
admit that. It's
No arguments.
especially in the beginning parts, it's shot like a movie from the 40s or 50s, like black and white era.
Yeah.
Then when it cuts to 97, it looks like what's that movie where that German girl's running?
Oh, Run Lola Run.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a great comparison. Why
Yeah.
didn't you bring that up earlier?
I was trying to think the whole movie.
Good job.
I was like, it's just a lady running.
Yes,
I
that's a
don't
perfect.
know.
That is a great example of a late 90s.
So that's why I was like, it looks like that to me the entire time, mixed with Speed.
right.
Then and then I liked it.
I don't mean that. Obviously, there are two different film styles, but I mean tonally in terms of like there's a lot of Taken in this. I don't know if this movie happens if Inglourious Bastards doesn't happen just due to the themes. These are all movies that were released around the time of the filming.
It also reminds me of Seven at the end, where it's
right.
stuff's happening, but other stuff is happening, and then the guy ends up killing. It's a little ambiguous
Yes.
morality.
Gun in the field over a kneeling.
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Well, I looked it up.
Yes.
It was filmed in 07 because he died in 08. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Then Taken is 08.
Yeah, it just all kind of coincidentally, I feel
All
like
right,
happens.
zeitgeist stuff.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give it to him on that.
Nazis on the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just talking about like in terms of there's a lot of like thrill ride kind of suspense and action, and then there's like serious family drama stuff, and then there's really serious historical drama. Totally confused in that sense. Like what genre do you put it in one genre?
There's no action in it.
There's suspense in the terms of like they have to solve the guy's stuff before he comes in. They hold a guy up at gunpoint. Like
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
no
saying
action,
fucking.
though.
I'm not
It's
saying
an old
like.
man that's unarmed, then they have a
No,
gun, and they're like,
because he had to
No,
fight
it's-
that one Nazi as a kid.
Oh yeah, actually,
Oh, okay.
The boots on the ground.
Even when he
black
had
and white stuff.
when he joined the Partisans.
oh
there
yeah,
was
and then
action
he
there.
has a literal training montage in slow mo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then there's the quick cuts of him shooting at people from his cop days.
Yeah. Are you seeing what I'm saying about the tonally confused
Yeah,
part?
but I get it. I like it a lot. As a big brain in this group
You can
that
handle
likes
this.
this movie, it's like, yeah, no, I get it. It's fine.
There definitely felt like different movies were filmed
Right.
and then just cut together with
Right.
a million cuts. Literally at one point I had to like look away because it was so bad. It was like a seizure, black and white and then the normal stuff. And it was really loud too. The
Yeah.
only time that I think sound was used effectively is when that bullet train thing comes on. War
Sudden.
sounds and,
Right.
and guns, and then you hear like the chick of the train. And so it was like, okay, that goes together. But then the rest of it was just like, just stop. It is all over
Yeah.
the place. I do remember one scene that I really liked. His girlfriend, from when
Yes.
he's young, she gets captured. And so they take her into a moving van type vehicle. It's like a moving gas chamber.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they gas her, but you don't see her dying. They just have a shot that's her feet. And then
Yeah.
you see like the tube that the gas is coming up. And the gas
and
is
it's
like
twitching?
slowly
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
in,
yeah.
like, getting thicker. And then, it's just her feet shaking and twitching and moving around until they stop. That is a great scene. That is really well done.
Yeah, there's really
nothing else like that
There's
in
really
the whole
good
movie.
shots. And the director doesn't do anything else of note like after this. He makes a few other movies that don't come out.
What is that?
Biopics that just never get released, and then he never does anything again.
Somebody hates him.
Himself?
Himself. Yeah.
Has anyone seen that poster for this movie? It's like what I think it's Roy Scheider on the corner from the movie, and then the younger version of him is on the other corner, but it's like definitely just the headshot of the actor. Like, because like in the movie he's a child, but then in the on the poster he has like a little tiny beard underneath his lip. It's like funny, and then like the whole background is like different still shots from the film with a blue overlay. Like over that, but their pictures are over it in black and white. So it's like blue and black and gray.
So they cobbled together this movie.
Cobbled together the
Cobbled
poster.
together the poster.
If somebody's listening to this and they try to Google the poster, they will not get it. They will get Iron Cross and all these like, weird things. Yeah.
I don't know if there's an actual poster for the movie Beautiful Blue Eyes. I think it's just under Iron Cross.
Okay, so you will find it. What Dylan's talking about, but it'll say Iron Cross instead of Beautiful Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because on the poster on the app, it's just like a screenshot of Roy Scheider just looking out of a car.
It looks like a stand-up special.
And I have nowhere else to put this, so I'm just going to throw it here. The end credits theme is like a really bad modern Americana-ish, electronic-ish singer-songwriter type track performed by the director's son.
Yeah.
And it is a fitting end, I think.
It is.
Really, if you think about it as a coda to this
disjointed.
yes,
Yeah, this makes no
nonsensical
sense. Throw it in there.
film. Are we? The film is on trial. Is it innocent to go free, or do we hang it? I'm going to say the Lost Media Wiki article is very much so innocent and one of the greatest things I've read in a long time. Maybe this film is like apocrypha to that. Which, by the way, I thought it was really funny in the Lost Media thing. Someone got to the trouble of putting together this article about including a lawsuit against Variety magazine for giving it a negative review.
$400 million.
Anyways, they never mentioned the film actually getting released. So all of this story and lore behind this unreleased film, no one bothered to be like, oh, hey, it actually came out and you can go watch it now.
Yeah.
So no one cares about it actually getting released, just that it's lost. So yes, the lore, innocent as hell. The movie, I say, I'm hanging it. It's being hung high. Justine?
I'm gonna take this movie, put it in a moving van, and just cover it with empty boxes.
Toss a couple U-Haul boxes on top.
Yeah, cover it up really lazily.
There we go.
I'm going to say 9,999,999.
That's its rating out of 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, by the way.
Right.
Brent really liked it. Dylan? What do you give it? What do you say?
Well, since this movie's fighting for its fucking life, 'cause
Right.
you guys are a bunch of racists.
We are.
Oh, I'm stoked on the Survivor movie, dickhead.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm coming around.
I'm happy that this movie got released. I hope it comes out in a big media. How did they discover how they found this movie? If it was
no.
lost.
Never got into that. I think
No.
it's not that it was lost. It's not like there was a warehouse fire. It's just no one picked it up.
I
for
know, but I'm
distribution,
saying,
so they
where
never
was
turned
it? Where
into
was
anything.
it? Like in the zoo's
Just on
house?
some guy's hard drive. Speaking of Nazi films, since we're all cinephiles here, there's that Jerry Lewis Holocaust movie. And is that truly lost? Like some sort of prints exist of it? I've heard rumor.
I'm not sure.
That's potentially some true lost media, but also potentially maybe this is a
the way in a
beautiful
desk
blue
drawer
eyes
intentionally.
someplace.
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis is not with us anymore, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They need to open that shit up like the Prince vault, man. Put some of this shit out there.
But maybe there's something in that film when they looked at it, they're like, this doesn't need to be out.
Dylan, final verdict.
Yeah, I'm saying he escaped.
He escaped.
Yeah.
It's a free movie.
And
Next up, we have Medieval, which is a Czech film directed by a name that I'm probably getting wrong, called Peter Jackal. It takes place in medieval times, fittingly enough, and I don't really know what the movie's about because I am a small little pea brain bouncing around in my head. It's a bunch of barbarians running around cutting each other, knights and shit. It's a Ren Fair movie. Justine, what's this movie about? You have a bigger brain than me.
So basically, these Teutonic knights who are going around killing everybody for the Holy Roman Empire, they're being fought off by these Czech rebels. It's like people fighting the Inquisition. You know?
Right.
Like these knights are rolling through, and the people are trying to protect themselves.
The bad guys, quote unquote, are trying to install a pope in France, while the other side wants to maintain the pope being in Rome.
All right. Am I super dumb for not really picking up on that?
No.
Okay.
This
No.
movie, if you don't
need to
know
know the history.
everything
Yeah.
about what's happening,
Right.
is 100%. Who are these people?
Okay.
What are they doing?
Yes.
They're very vague about it, and you can't tell them apart.
Yes.
And you don't know who you're supposed to be rooting for because you don't know who's the bad guys and who's the good guys.
Yeah, someone's kidnapping a lady to get political leverage over another guy, and then another group is trying to kidnap the lady because it's their lady and they don't want to listen to the political demands of the other group.
I don't know. I mean,
Sure.
whatever you said
Okay.
was confusing, and that's about right,
Right.
for this. You don't know who anybody is, and then you only know who the bad guy is because of how they act, and that the other guys are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they start off like Ocean's 11. It's like our protagonist is basically Danny Ocean with like a violence problem. It's just like he assembled this team of like very
Yes,
skilled
yes.
guys that have special tasks that they do when they pull off their hijinks.
Well, let me tell you, a very appropriately titled film because I think the star of the show is the era, right?
Yeah.
It's like a period piece. And I really liked and I thought it was refreshing to see some medieval time shit that wasn't from England. Seems like my only real point of reference is like, King Arthur and fucking Robin Hood and shit like that. And I was like, oh no, this is continental Europe. Shit's different out here. Like there's no like, King Richard or whatever the fuck. What I thought this movie lacked, and I guess we're kind of on the same page somewhat in terms of what it lacked in terms of like plot and character. I thought it more than made up for in like the ambiance and the tone of the film. There's two things going on with big exclamation points. There's like pure scenery porn, woodland areas, hills, rocks, beautiful fucking naturescapes, like really milked and to me very effective because I just thought, I don't know, I like looking at pretty things. And insanely brutal violence, like unrelenting, not constant necessarily, because there's lulls where they're on the run or group A is evading group B or there's some scheming and plotting behind the scenes. So there's downtime for sure, but when it's on, it's fucking on. Like this is some of the most brutal violence I've seen in a movie possibly this year, and we just watched a movie where a goddamn underground mutant fucking rips people's arms off and crushes their skull. Like this shit is just spiked maces and arrows through
people's
stuff.
Faces getting ripped off.
Bro, and okay, listen, I'm not gonna bury the lead here. They jab out someone's eye and they pour fucking maggots in it like a goddamn Cannibal Corpse song. This is fucking insanely brutal, but it's not like necessarily celebrating violence and gore. I think it's more like just kind of showing you the brutality of, again, the title of the film, the era that it's in. And I think it's communicated so well. I designed in my brain while I was watching this an x-axis of like boring to exciting and a y-axis of good to bad. I would say this movie was like very boring and a little bit good. Not bad. Extremely boring, extremely good is 2001. This is not 2001. A Space Odyssey, but it is very boring and it is a little bit good. I really had the feeling that I was watching something a little classy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I couldn't hate it. I couldn't love it. I got to go right down the middle of the road with it. It was hard to get into at first. I just have seen so many movies, where it's just like guys.
Yeah, groups of guys clashing with each other.
Fighting. Yeah, it takes a bit for me to get into, medieval type movies. It's taken me a little bit, too, to get past, modern accents and seeing Michael Caine.
Right.
And being like...
Hold it down.
They kept putting him in a carriage and then made me think about how I would always put Samuel L. Jackson in a carriage. Now he's old, too. And so I started thinking about if there were other movies where they just stick old actors in carriages so they don't have to walk as much. Our group of bandits, we'll call them, they ended up being somewhat affable, but not to the point where I was like, or stand for any of them. When there was like big deaths, it didn't matter to me at all.
I don't think you connect with anyone, but again, I think that's the moral of the story. Is just anyone can get it. And again, it's called medieval. It's not called the fucking Knights of the Tudor are cool people. It's just like these fucking medieval times. Like anyone can get it anytime. Expect no mercy.
Maybe they all know how to walk silently behind other people from the era while wearing chainmail and wielding maces and smelling really bad, because it seemed every 5 seconds as a character was finishing a sentence, they'd get grabbed from behind or stabbed from behind or just get something through their eye from behind. They might have gone to the well a bit too much in that. I think that's what made the movie feel long to me, which is like, okay, that guy's done talking, he's going to get it from behind. Well, I got it from behind.
Yeah. I guess a weird comparison I'd put is like maybe like Hammer horror movies.
Sure.
Where they're like slow and paced as shit and you're not exactly engaged in it all the way, but it's like there's some cool shadows and there's some cool ass castles and they're spending a lot of time on these dungeons and like the ambiance. Oh yeah, it makes for a slower movie. It makes for something you can't really connect with, but I don't know, you're left with a little bit of something,
Okay, cinema poser take.
Okay.
The fact that they modernized a lot of the dialogue made it a better watch.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They had to give you something.
Yeah.
If they're not going to give you characters or like big actors, Michael Caine withstanding, or like something to grasp onto other than just like beautiful looking shit and brutality, at least don't make me like have to really like squint my ears to hear anything that they're saying,
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely felt like the first 20 to 30. How long was this movie?
2 hours and 6 minutes.
Okay, yeah, it felt pretty long.
Yeah.
Because they got into political stuff,
Yeah.
which, yeah, you just tune out because A, you couldn't hear them very well, and B, like, it's too much to try to tell an audience, in 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't keep everybody's name straight. All you really want to see is the fighting because it's like, okay, good guy and bad guy. I got
guess.
it.
When there's like 20 people clashing with 20 people, it's not like, yes, my team's winning, especially when they're all dressed the same.
That's the problem is that you can't. I always think that in like every movie where it's like melee combat.
Right.
It's like, how can you tell each other apart? You all look like
People.
cartoons,
Yeah.
of like rags. But so this is based on a real guy.
Yeah.
And so I feel very much like this is made with the assumption that people kind of know who this is and like what's going on already, so that you can just see him as like it's a Braveheart movie, but I know that was a real guy and it was like a brutal movie too.
Right.
So it's like, here's a guy, he's fighting for freedom with his people, rebel style. You don't need to tell me about the king and his brother, half brother, and this other guy. He's in charge of something, and there's this girl. Just be like, they kidnapped this girl from somewhere. That's it.
They could have simplified it like the way like Star Wars does it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there
Like that
we
would
go.
have been way cleaner.
King,
It got
and
more
you just
convoluted as
tune
it
out.
went. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like they really mixed it up.
Yeah, I'm assuming that this happened. So it's like, that's so sad that they're like, actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to go
gonna do
we're
something
going to
else.
do the
Yeah.
opposite of the
Yeah.
thing we're fighting to get here to do. It's like, well, then all those people just died for no reason.
That's
But I'm a folk hero.
So look, there's more than a few Batman parallels
Oh, yeah.
here. We got Michael Caine, aka Alfred. You got the mention of like a good death, which to me I only think of Dark Knight Returns. This would be a good death. But not today. There's a look at me.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of that. So like, if I'm thinking Batman, I want to say like Lord of the Rings is like the '60s Batman TV show. And this movie is like Dark Knight, either comic or movie. Because I was thinking, like, I think I like medieval movies and like knights and shit. What do I like about them? Oh yeah, I like when there's magic. I like I like fairies and like a witch in the woods, and I like walking trees. Like all this shit I like would just completely sink this movie. Like at some point they go down into this dungeon. One of the guys has like a lion that he keeps locked up. And I was just like, man, it'd be cool if it was a dragon though.
Oh,
And,
that's why I'll just watch Dark Crystal instead of any of this. You know what I mean?
But it's like, yeah, that's that would have sullied this. And I ended up respecting it. This was like the hard-nosed math teacher that's just like, nope, you're getting straight D's, but you're going to respect me at the end of it because you're going to see that you deserved it. And I definitely deserve to have a D in terms of enjoyment of this film because, if you're telling a movie like this, and you shouldn't have good guys wearing white and bad guys wearing black, and you shouldn't have like princesses that need rescues and simple plots and shit that resolves soundly and heroes that live at the end. It's like, no, it's just brutal, unrelenting fucking story because it was brutal, unrelenting times, and just fucking deal with it.
But it's also really exciting. It's a very cool movie. You get to see like, okay, this is their turf.
They're like Ewoks.
This guerrilla warfare, they know how to deal with their terrain and stuff. What's really good is, of course, the battles and the amazing revolutionary tactics and technology that this guy Siska like introduces. It's really impressive, and you're like, oh my god, this thing is unfolding. What? They have this going on. What? This extra step?
The Northman was, set in older times. That's got all the attention this year. It's gonna get all this credit, right? But yeah, this movie's gonna be overlooked because I didn't even heard of it until we went and saw it, right? So it's cool to see the counter to that, within the same year in the same theater, to see people that actually use their brains instead of just brawn and dumb pride. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, this guy was known for like being really inventive in his war tactics.
Get me a blacksmith and some nails.
Yeah, he's like, I
Hard.
got some ideas.
Fuck, that's a hard ass line. I forgot
Hard
about
fucking
that.
line, yeah. I didn't have to write it down. That was in my brain.
Yeah, I'm gonna sample that shit.
But I was also thinking this whole time, I love seeing things like this because I love the Civilization video game
Yes.
series. Like there's kids that are learning how to like sling rocks. And I'm like, Oh, slingers. Oh, but they can only hit 1 square away. Oh, there's archers. Well, they can hit 2 squares away. Oh, crossbowmen. Okay, here we go. There's pikemen here. Knights. Knights on horses versus swordsmen. I don't know about that.
Funny you mentioned slingers because I thought of the swingers follow-up Maid when after beating ass, they go to the castle. The woman that ends up being kidnapped, she's serving drinks, and one of the knights like pulls out, a tip essentially and flips it on the tray, just like in Maid. So yeah, I thought of Vince Vaughn for some weird reason during that movie.
Hey, Justine, I have a question.
Yes.
You know a lot about this stuff?
Because of civilization and because I like history stuff. I know a little about a lot of civilization stuff.
Okay. I guess my question is is this around the time, or is any of the characters known as the guy that came a lot? Is it?
No.
No.
Again, this is there's no King Arthur shit. There's no Camelot. There's no
No Monty, no Python.
no.
I can't remember where I heard it from.
No
There
spam?
was a guy that he was talking about how he was a really dumb kid because in medieval times and stuff, he thought there were really wizards and dragons and stuff. He was just like, yeah, but that was just back then.
Yeah.
Because, all that you ever see about this period of time is like wizards and kings and stuff. So he just assumed that was real. It just doesn't exist anymore because that's old.
Extinction.
Yeah.
Dragons died.
Yeah.
I've got an aside. We're recording this on 9/11, and when 9/11 actually happened, the first trip I went on with my girlfriend afterward was to Las Vegas, and we went to Medieval Times, the restaurant. And this was when we were boycotting France.
Oh boy.
The plot of the restaurant Medieval Times, it's different European knights, just based on their country, jousting in front of you while you eat food with your hands.
Right.
And
We've all seen Cable Guy here, Brent. We know what medieval times is about.
We're all cinephiles.
Yeah.
When the French knight was introduced, people started chucking the carcasses of
Jesus Christ.
Vegas?
and booing him.
Does he have his armor on?
Yeah, they
Okay.
had to stop the show and then admonish the audience.
And rake the chicken off
He's
of
not really French. Maybe, but he's not that guy.
It was just some dude from Vegas who's good on a horse. That's it. This
So,
was 2001.
Since we're pairing these movies together, or just happen to watch them in close proximity, the Beautiful Blue Eyes I was watching, and I was getting kind of angry, and I get angry with any movie because I'm like, this is no one's favorite movie.
Right.
Not only is it no one's favorite movie, this is no one's pick of the year.
Right.
If it's not someone's favorite movie, it kind of shouldn't exist, right? And if not favorite movie, at least give me pick of the year.
There's not even enough reviews on Letterboxd for the scores to count. Yeah.
So counterpoint here. I think this is someone's movie of the year.
I think so too.
And I don't want to be in a room with that person or talk to that person, meet that person. But given like some of the less than fun elements that come with watching this movie, I will at least say when watching, I was like, this is someone's shit. Someone is losing their fucking mind right now. Just like in my mind, I want this person to be like standing O, just like, yes,
They got it right.
yes, that's a flail. That's a fucking flail.
The Siska guy is like a national hero,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
somebody is
Yeah.
super stoked about it.
Wait,
Yeah,
for
no.
Beautiful Blue Eyes or for
No,
Medieval?
for
Oh, okay. I got lost for a second.
For Beast?
I was like, for Beautiful Blue Eyes. That's my favorite movie. Should I leave the room? What are they flailing?
you know, I'm such a dummy because I'm watching this movie and it's like, oh, I like lions. I like birds. Just like the things I like to look at. That's how I judge film, is how much screen time is devoted to just
That's as
things.
valid as any.
No,
way to
that
look at
rock
movies.
formation is fucking tight.
It was though.
I'm a sensible human being.
Dang,
All right.
yeah, a guy gets thrown off of a castle
So many
and
people get
falls,
thrown off of
and
shit.
he falls down the cliff, and then it goes to an aerial view, and it's like, oh man, he fell off the cliff. He's gonna, oh my god, he hit the rock. His brains are on the rock.
Yeah, let's talk. Okay, that actually jogged a thought. that movie took so much effort and budget and
Right.
and just people carrying and people nailing things and people in post doing Foley, to make sure that when the crow is pecking an eyeball, it sounds perfect,
Splashing,
right?
right?
Yeah, okay. So all this effort went into that movie, but the studio, the distributor, nobody cared to promote it.
Again, this is we're in America. Maybe
Yeah.
this is like Czech royalty, like
Okay, we'll follow up on this. We'll see how it did. Who went and saw this movie
yeah,
other than
I want to
us?
see the international
Yeah.
numbers on it. Is there some kind of parallel to like the Russian-Ukrainian conflict?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's not like invaders or anything, but if you're Ukrainian and you're like in the shit right now, are you watching this movie like pirated on?
It has that
something
power,
where
yeah.
it's just like, fuck, there's precedent for this. All right,
Yeah,
let's
and
fucking
then
go.
at the end with the to everybody who fites for freedom.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that was pretty postscripty.
Yeah.
That could have been like, okay, let's nudge, let's nod and wink to what's going on
yeah,
here.
I think so.
Interesting. So, end of the day, are we giving this movie a seat at the round table, or are we having Merlin banish it to a different time? I'm giving it a seat at the table. I can't promise I'll ever watch it again, but I goddamn respected it.
Yeah, it can sit at the table, but you need to protect your eyes
Because they're gonna get pecked
Yeah.
or slashed.
because he lost an eye and had maggots in it, and then the real guy got slashed again, and then by the time he ended like his service,
Yeah.
he was blind and he was still out there like
Goddamn.
managing these troops.
Love it.
Well, I hate to say this, but I'm going to take our friend Merlin.
No. What's going on?
I'm going to cast him in the reboot of this movie, which will come out in the fall of next year.
It's gonna be very Americanized. Coming
Yeah,
straight
I
to
want
Disney
more
Plus.
magic. I want dragons. I want the lion.
Who's playing the princess? Zendaya?
Oh, no, I want a musician that's never acted before. Let's go with the chick from Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Love it.
Oh,
Love
Karen
it.
O?
Yeah, Karen O.
No, you know who you should pick?
Who?
Billie Eilish.
Oh, yes, sir.
Make it modern.
Big brain shit.
I would give it. All right. We're at the round table.
Right.
Merlin's invited.
I think Sir Galahad is there. Is he a knight? Okay.
Yeah, King Arthur's there.
Gawain.
Gawain. The Green Knight's there. We're all eating round table pizza. We're just having a good time. Merlin.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight's there. The Little Mermaid's there.
Knight Rider.
Dark Knight.
Ghost Rider. Dude, that'd be a hard ass fucking round
Oh,
table.
Black Knight, Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Black
there.
Knight with Martin Lawrence.
Oh,
Okay,
Ash.
he's a-
Ash has dropped from the sky.
Oh, Ash.
He's in
yeah,
the Army
from
of Darkness.
but specifically Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
That era. That'd be cool. Dude, again, hard fucking round table.
Yes.
They're there. Hellraiser's there.
Dream blunt rotation.
Freddy and Jason are in there.
Okay.
Yeah. just-
Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block is there.
What's the one? The kid that was in Rookie of the Year that is in that other baseball movie where he goes back in medieval times.
Oh, fuck. What was that called?
I know.
He played
I-
baseball in medieval times.
King's Court. Fuck.
Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick pull.
Yo, what was that fucking that cartoon where a football team goes back in time? I think it was just called Knights of the Round Table. I swear to God, a high school football team goes back in time. It's a cartoon.
Is it a football like the Giants?
They were like it's a cartoon, like Skeleton Warriors era,
Yeah.
And they go back in time, and they're just like, well, fuck it, we're knights now. Blue 42. Like,
What?
So they had
fight.
strategy, dude.
And that's
like
the
they're a
whole show
team.
is that they're back in time.
Yeah, they don't get out.
What the fuck? Like they don't like walk in out of a time travel closet and they're like, oh, we're back in time.
No. They stay in medieval times the whole last time. They fight evil.
What? The
And then they become their own great grandpa.
Oh fuck! I don't know how it ends.
I could have gone pro, but I was stuck in medieval times.
Yeah, they were a high school football team too. It was great. So yeah, I guess that's everything. Brent, you got news for us today?
Well, like a lot of terrible movies, I'm going to go ahead and break the fourth wall, dear listener. I'm going to tell you that when you watch every goddamn movie that comes through your local theater,
Indiscriminately.
indiscriminately, and when you watch up to 5 movies in a row, and when you record on 9/11 and it's the weekend, the news gets a little thin. But fear not, for in my right hand I hold a tome by the god Leonard Maltin,
Respect.
the original movie master.
Boom.
Now, what we're going to do instead of talking about the hot goss is we're going to play a little game called the Leonard Maltin game.
Maltin Mania.
The way that goes down is...
Maltin Lava.
The way that goes down is each contestant is going to pick a page number, and I'm going to scan that page number. I'm going to find a movie that most likely the three of the contestants have heard of. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at Maltin's descriptions of these movies. I'm going to remove any references to any actors in the description. And based on that description, the contestants will then place a bid. It's kind of like Name That Tune, but for movies, where the notes are the actors, right?
Gotcha.
So if you know what it is from the description, you're going to bid 0. Be like, hey, I don't need any actors. I can name that right now.
Oh, just based off the plot.
His description of the plot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the official plot. It's Maltin's description.
Yes.
So yeah, let's say you bid 0. You're like, I got this. But Justine goes, no, I'll do 0 too because I got this. Well, then you can do what's called a negative bid.
Double dare.
Yeah, wherein you say, I'm going to name the movie, but I'm also going to give you 7 actors from the movie. No, I'll give you 8.
Know.
And he's like, all right, name it. Bet. Do it. So we'll start to my left. We'll go with Dylan.
Page 69.
What's the highest page?
Oh yeah,
70.
You can go up to 1611.
Wow, this is fucking rules. Respect to the OG Movie Master.
Yeah,
All
this is
right.
the 2017.
So we're
edition.
current. We could have some we could have the Eternals in here.
All right, so we'll go to page 69. Okay, the year of the movie is 1980. Okay, that's a hint. You have 7 actors listed.
Bad News Bear.
So, okay, this is Maltin's description of the movie. And I'm going to leave out important things that would give it away. Okay. Title and opening credits are the funniest things in this low-budget spoof of low-budget science fiction, which cracks its one joke and then beats it to death for another 85 minutes. A staple at worst film festivals, but nowhere nearly as hilarious as movies that aren't supposed to be. So, Dylan, can you name that movie? If not, how many actors would you like me to list?
I can name it.
All right, that he's bidding 0. Colin?
I don't know if the actors are going to help me on this.
Okay.
I'll say 2 actors.
Okay, can you name it in 2. Justine?
I would need all of them, and I don't know if I would.
Justine
still be
goes
able
7. Okay, so Dylan, you are then challenged to name it with 0 actors.
Young Frankenstein.
Incorrect. Colin, you're going to get 2 actors. I'm going to pick them at random.
You don't get the main actor.
Yeah, I think. Well,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the last listed actor, which might be a hint. First hint for you is the San Diego Chicken. And then the first actor listed is John DeBello. This is a 1980 movie.
God damn it. See, I got a flaw in your system, Brent.
Okay.
I'm guessing these movies are listed alphabetically.
They are.
So I'm caught on A's. And the only thing I can think of is Airplane, which would be baffling.
You are in the neighborhood, but that's not it. I will offer another hint because it is in the book. There is an animated TV series that was made of it.
God damn it. Give me a second.
Yep. Title and opening credits are the funniest things in this low-budget spoof of low-budget science fiction, which cracks its one joke and then beats it to death for another 85
Attack of
minutes.
the Killer Tomatoes.
Correct.
Damn it. See,
Got
I knew
it, sir.
I
Took
had to
me a
think about
time.
the chicken.
The spoof of the spoof.
Yeah, that's why I listed the chicken.
I was like, oh,
okay.
damn it.
So we're getting the
All
hang
I
of
didn't
it.
think it was that early. 1980?
1980.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you gotta flip randomly and not show us in the book where it is. Otherwise, that's a
Don't
that's a hint.
look. He
Okay,
has
I'm not
to
looking.
read the book.
True. I'm not looking. No looking at in the
Don't
book.
look at Brent.
Otherwise, you'll get a tint because that's the only reason I was able to get attacked. No one's looking at the book. Honor system. Don't look at
I've
the
got
book.
one.
Okay.
For round 2, we're going to go with the 2004 movie.
I bet on Dylan.
Dylan's a good candidate for this one. A veterinarian living in Hawaii who's known for quickie relationships falls in love with a woman who, it turns out, has short-term memory loss.
I can name this in 0 actors.
Well, see, now we can get into the fun part. All right, let me finish it real quick. That means he has to win her over every single day. Not bad
Yeah,
premise for
come
an
on,
offbeat
come
romantic
on.
comedy. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's cut to it. Let's get these bids in now because I think you're all right.
Big ol' 0.
You-
Easy.
But do you want to go negative? You name the movie and you give me some actors.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
I'll go negative 2.
I'll go negative
Damn. Okay.
3.
Okay, you can give 3. Justine, can you name the movie? And if so,
What if it's not what we think it
Yeah,
is?
do you want to give
Yeah,
me
we're
some
fucked.
actors?
I feel like I can do it in -2 also.
Negative 2. Okay, so right now we're gonna call Dylan,
All right.
and he has to give us the name of the movie plus list 3 actors that are listed in this book.
Yeah, I can't do -3. I can do -2 if it's the right movie.
Yeah, if it's the right movie.
But I also have a side bet that I bet on Dylan to win. So either way,
it could just be a fucking parody.
You
of
covered
that
the
movie.
spread. Yeah. Dylan, moment of truth. Give me the name of the movie, and then you're gonna have to give me 3 actors that are listed in this book for that movie.
All right, 50 First Dates, Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, Rob Schneider.
Wow.
yeah,
Nailed it.
yeah.
Fantastic work. Other actors you
That
could
was a
have
gimme.
given would be Sean Astin, Lucia Strauss, Blake Clark, Dan Aykroyd, Amy Hill, Alan Covert, Maya Rudolph, and Nephi Pomakai Brown.
Be honest, do you know Rob Schneider, or were you just guessing because of the
No,
Sandman
Rob Schneider
connection?
is like the Hawaiian guy that lives
Okay.
on the island with him.
Of course he is.
Amazing.
What I think it's Along Came Polly, right? Where it's like Paul Rudd is like a surf instructor. And he's like, yeah, I don't really wear a watch. Or no, he's trying to date the girl. And then there's like a hot surfer guy. And the hot surfer guy is like, I don't really wear a watch. And Paul Rudd's like, oh, that's so cool. Because like, time is a concept. Because yeah, I use my phone.
Is that Along Came Polly?
I think.
In my head-
What's another Hawaiian vacation romantic comedy?
With Paul Rudd?
Oh,
Possibly Paul Rudd. Don't quote me on that.
Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I was
Is that Paul Rudd?
Jason Segel.
Segel.
Yeah. Good ass joke, at
Didn't
least.
he hang dick in that movie? I think he did.
I didn't look.
I think
I
that
would have
was
known.
Yeah, that was in my fantasy.
How about we do this for round 3? This is the last round. How about somebody gives me a year?
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Since Justine, you aren't on the board, you want to give me a year?
I love it.
2014.
1992.
1992. 2008.
97.
97.
Oh, I
I'm
see
giving
what
this
you
one to
did there.
Justine.
I see what
Okay.
you did there.
Okay. Let me.
Evil times.
Yeah.
16. I don't know what year.
Finish him.
1150.
These shadows dance on a cave.
Play-Doh.
Hidden. Ah, you're good.
Foot.
Titanic.
I don't actually know any
It's just
movies from
teased.
97.
Toy Story. It's Toy Story.
I did that just.
Toys came back to life when there's no one around.
What's the one with the little army men? Little something.
Oh,
They're
Small Soldiers?
Yeah, there you
but then I have some fucked up notion that there's another movie that's like Small Soldiers that isn't Small Soldiers, and it's been driving me mad for.
It's because you're
Indian
thinking
in
of
the
Small
Cupboard?
Soldiers.
Well, it was
Because
the
there's two
era where they would
different-
put out one movie and they would
I
put out another
know.
one
This
like
is a
it.
Shazam situation.
It's a Shazam situation.
You just got Shazam.
We put in a
Is this
different
Shazam?
dimension.
I already did. 0 actors. Shazam.
One actor. I can name it in one.
Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal.
Here's a nice hater review. I love this. So this is 1997. Bidding on actors, there's 11 that you can go up to. Okay. Curiously flat lead actor vehicle about adult who visits his brother in England is signed up for an interactive theater experience, but walks instead into the midst of a complex espionage scheme. The lead actor is game as always in the kind of situation that used to serve Bob Hope and Danny Kaye so well, but the script lets him down. The title is the funniest part of the picture. So I'll start with Justine.
I have no idea.
So how many actors would you need to name this film?
I'm going to say 4.
Okay, 4. Dylan,
Give me 2.
you want 2?
I feel like I'm going to say I can give you -2,
Nice.
but I don't know the title. So
So
I'll just L myself out right now. Well, I'm going to guess 2. And if it's not either of those, and I definitely don't know the title, and I don't know the title anyways. If I have the actors right, then
Doesn't count.
it doesn't count.
yeah, it doesn't count.
Okay, then. I'll let you guys play for real.
Just go 1.
What if
And I
you're
don't think
He
wrong?
names, what if he
Okay.
names the person and you're like, oh, that's not even the movie I'm thinking of?
All right. Well, then, yeah, I'll take 4. How about that?
Okay. Curiously flat lead actor vehicle about adult who visits his brother in England is signed up for an interactive theater experience, but walks instead into the midst of a complex espionage scheme. Lead actor is game as always in the kind of situation that used to serve Bob Hope and Danny Kaye so well, but the script lets him down. The
Okay.
title is the funniest part of the picture. All right, so Dylan, you want 2 actors?
Yeah, I'll take 2.
Okay, I'll give you the big one.
Thank you.
Bill Murray and Alfred Molina.
Osmosis Jones.
That's not 97. It's like 01.
Ants.
Ants.
Ants is the analog to Bug's Life.
Yeah. Bill Murray and
Alfred Molina. You know Alfred Molina. You like Alfred
Yeah, Doc
Molina.
Ock.
Fuck yeah.
fuck. I can't picture Bill Murray in England. That's the thing.
Playing, bumbling Bill Murray. He thinks he's in an interactive theater experience, but it's actually like a real deal espionage scheme.
I X'd out, bro. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
Justine, you have any guesses?
You
You
got
can get
two
two more.
get
You
two
can
more
get, well, you can
actors.
get one more actor, and you can get two.
Well, you said 3, so do you think you would know? if you
No,
got one more?
I'm out. If
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a Bill Murray 1997
that
movie,
you don't know.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The director is John Amiel.
never heard of him.
You've got Bill Murray, Peter Gallagher, Joanne Whalley, Alfred Molina, Richard Wilson, Geraldine James, John Standing, Anna Chancellor, Nicholas Woodson, Eddie Marson, and that's it.
Never heard of him.
I feel like these are the names of people on your HOA.
Yeah. The name of this movie is The Man Who Knew Too Little.
What the hell? That's a movie?
We can't end on a downer. Let's
Yeah.
go with a... this is a 1997 movie. It's 82 minutes long.
Okay.
All right, the description is, in a manic performance that makes Jim Carrey look like Ben Kingsley, the lead plays a con artist with a unique talent for transforming himself into just about every type of persona. Soon he finds himself pursued by a variety of whacked out bad guys. Poor showcase for the star and co-writer, which is the lead. Colin, give me a bid.
3
Okay, 3 actors. Justine.
con artist.
4.
Okay, Dylan.
Jim Carrey's not in it. He's just comparing him
Yeah,
to...
it's a reference. Yeah, and Ben Kingsley's not in it either.
I'll just go with 4 too.
With 4. Okay, so you need 3. All right, Colin, I'm gonna
I
give you.
need Jesus.
I'm gonna give you 3 actors. Your first one is John Leguizamo.
The Pest.
Got it.
Fuck!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? I thought it was going to be with John Mario.
Spawn.
Could have gone that direction, yeah, but like not plot wise. All right, Justine, tell us what we're watching next.
All right, we've got 3 movies coming up next week. We have The Woman King, See How They Run, and then Pearl, the prequel to the movie X.
Dylan, go ahead and take us out.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Beautiful Blue Eyes and Medieval. Join us next week for The Woman King, Pearl, and See How They Run. What are they about? I don't know. Join us next time on Regal Movie Masters Unlimited.